prossimo ospite è un ospite super perché segue la parte di design, di innovazione ed è in sostanza il futurologo, no, di SAP. La cosa incredibile è che il nostro prossimo ospite arriva da un background dove suonava in una band rock, punk, suonava chitarra, il basso e quindi ha, diciamo, una storia incredibile, nominato tra i 100 personaggi più influenti in Germania. Insomma, ha proprio questo background straordinario, vive in Svezia, ha una visione del futuro molto interessante. Non vi rubo altro tempo, diamogli un grande benvenuto, Martin Wezowski.
Oh. Hey, man. All right, cool. Thank you. Hey, folks. How are you doing? Yeah. You maybe understand that I like music from what was been presenting. Let me play a piece of music for you right now. Do you remember the Beatles? Yeah? Can you guess this band? It's hard to guess the band because it's artificial intelligence. Just composed a piece that has 1,700,000 clicks. Yeah, this is how popular a computer can get today. I just wanted you to hear that, to open your imagination. Because imagination is the first tool we have to create a future. And we have very serious questions to ask, as you can see. What's the future? Who knows? Is it me? Is it you? Is it us? I think the future is exactly what we imagine. This is how we know what the future is. And we need to do this together. We as a company, or you as a customer, you as a partner, cannot do it alone anymore. And with the power of the imagination comes the power of shaping. We actually can make, create, design, and develop the future. So why is future so important? Why is everybody talking about the future? I think it's very simple. You and I, your customers, your neighbors, your dog, and everybody else, we will spend the rest of our lives in the future. So I was thinking that we could make and create a future we all want to live in. And to do that, we need to understand change. How does the future work? This is my job at the Innovation Center Network for SAP. You know, the speed of change is exponential. You remember Gutenberg, right? 1400. The printing press, major shift for the civilization, if you wish. And then we rewind forward, we have the internet, we have space travel, we have artificial intelligence. And all of a sudden it feels like we have 10 Gutenberg moments per year. Not only one per generation or every third generation. So the change is accelerating and the speed is unbelievable. And our brains don't compute that. All of a sudden, we don't have discrete moments of change. We have a flow of change. Now, let me show you how hard it is to think exponentially. If I take 30 steps forward, I will be somewhere beyond that Lamborghini over there, which is beautiful, by the way. 30 meters ahead, okay? 1 meter. If I take 30 exponential steps, so I double every time, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. What is my 30th step? This is doubling, this is basic exponential. Anybody? 30th step, 256. It's very hard, right? It's actually so far away that even if I tell you the number, it doesn't make sense to you. It's 1 billion meters away. And you need a reference. It's 25 times around the globe. This is how the future behaves. It's exponential, not linear. And this is why we need to invest time, teams, expertise to understand the exponential future. That's number one, besides imagination. Secondary, convergence. Who of you plays with Hello Barbie? No? Nobody? You play with Barbie, that's good. It's two of us then. It's okay to say it, we have family here. Let me show you what Barbie can do. And there should be some sound to this, I hope. Here we go.
I want to be a Oh, wait a minute. I want to be a scientist.
Eureka! A scientist. I think science is so amazing. Why do you want to be a scientist?
I always really liked chemistry and physics in school.
The study of physics is incredible. Take gravity. You can't see it, but the second you trip, it's right there to pull you down. Did you ever fall or trip on something?
Yeah, unfortunately, all the time.
It happens to me all the time. That's gravity, pulling you down, sometimes with an ouch.
Okay. Did you expect this from one of our customers? Did you expect? You can almost take her out for dinner. You can almost have a quality of a conversation between Trump and Miss World kind of thing. This is almost working. Most of all, Mattel is breaking the sexist stereotypes, and Barbie at least speaks science. But look what's happening here. It's Moore's law. The computer inside this toy is the same power as you had to do your serious work just 10 years ago. Barbie is cloud connected. She understands natural language processing, or at least can process it, to speak to you. Now imagine a larger design, a larger future. What if the child that is playing with Barbie is hungry? And they say, "Hi Barbie, I'm hungry," and Barbie can Google very quickly and order a hamburger with Amazon drones delivered to the kid because there's GPS and we know where the kid is. Is that okay? Yeah? You think it's okay? How about if the hamburger is stolen by other kids? And Barbie records who the kids were with her eyes, because sensors are so cheap nowadays. So she has a picture, she has a face recognition. Who does she call? The parents? Mattel? SAP? The police? Hi, is this the police? It's Barbie. I have sent you a picture of a thief of a hamburger. You know, this is the speed of convergence and change in imagination coming together. This young entrepreneur in a developing country has more access and more power, information power, than US president just 15 years ago. And I promise you that he understands much more of that information than the current president. This is the speed of change. So, let's understand the futures. They are beyond normal understanding. This is why we do have an innovation center. This is why we do calculate what could happen. They converge in unexpected ways. But fortunately, we can imagine fantastic futures. Here's 3 examples of futures that are happening right now. These guys are going to space. It's not only because they are guys and very, very rich, so they need the rocket. They're doing it because, for example, Japan is developing extraterrestrial construction machines. They're investing billions there because one of our customers is making a new Audi Quattro. Actually, they're 3D printing a new Audi Quattro that will drive on the moon. It's also because this is happening. I met this guy, Joel Selcel. He worked for NASA for 17 years. And then he quit because I guess NASA was too boring. And he started this is Joel, by the way. He started his new company, Transastra. He's making this thing. He will shoot it up in space. He will capture asteroids, like you remember Bruce Willis in that movie, Armageddon or whatever. And he will squeeze out rocket fuel from asteroids with solar power. And I asked him, why do you do this? It's very expensive. I said, Martin, don't you understand? We need gas stations in space. We will have 7-Elevens, vacation and work. Yeah, we are industrializing the space because there's money to be made in space. 8,000 quadrillion pounds. Try to understand that sum. This is what that stone is worth, just in metals and minerals. This is how we articulate the future. This is from NASA. Industrialization of space is happening in front of our eyes. This is not only something I made up, this is something that is actually happening right now. Now, evolution of our brains, this is the second example here, is dead slow. But within 10 years, wearables will connect us to internet. So we will have a brain net. This lady is controlling a computer with her mind. She's paralyzed, but she can type just by imagining that she moves her hands. Yeah, this is happening right now. Do you remember this movie? Anybody? Yeah? This is not the droids you're looking for? We can control technology with our minds. Today, science fiction is becoming science fact. And between science fiction and science fact, there's science and very, very hard work right now. Let me give you a third example. All these materials are transparent. On the top, we have wood, but transparent. You can build a house, but you can see through. The bubble there, it's aluminum, yeah? The metal, otherwise not so transparent. And obviously we have glass. This piece of glass is a solar cell. Now, what does it mean to energy, to houses, to architecture? We need to think about this because already on March the 11th this year, California was bleeding money because they made more solar power that they could sell on a wholesale situation. So the innovation in technology is not enough. You have to innovate in business models to survive in a world that is exponentially fast. And if you don't, or if we don't, we might not live for long. You know, 50 years ago, we could live for 75 years on average as a Fortune 500 company. Take a guess what the average of a Fortune 500 company like SAP and many of you is. The average. It's 15 years. And it probably next year is exponentially lower. So we need to hurry up. Let me shoot a little bit faster. Look, this is a 3D printed car because car factories are not necessary in the future. Yeah, this is from 2014. And this car can be driven on the road that charges because this is a UK government vision of the future. And then maybe the roads are patrolled by these bots. Unmanned police cars accompanied by drones to scan and report on crime. And maybe you take the road through Hyperloop to Shanghai, because this is where you live. You're just here visiting, right? And you end up in your 3D printed house, manufactured by the robots. So maybe investment in real estate is not so clever idea anymore, because we just demonetized energy and we just demonetized housing. There's no business in that anymore. And then you put on your t-shirt that has sensors everywhere. The t-shirt is for free. We just want the data from your t-shirt to make you feel better, right? All these things are happening right now. All the things I showed you today are being thought of, imagined, and prototyped. We've seen this picture many, many times. This guy is a hero. He invented the digital camera. The boardroom he presented this camera to were not heroes. They were living in a linear world. They said no over and over again to this opportunity. They said the camera is shit, the picture was fantastically crap. They didn't see the exponential future that happened. They were living on a linear scale. They didn't understand that everything around us looks quite bad if you project it in your linear world, but it's actually living on an exponential curve. And this is why good projects, good innovations are killed. This is why we still do faster horses. This is why we don't understand and have empathy what our customers would need in the future. This empathy is an extremely important tool for innovation. SAP happens to be the 10th most empathic company on the planet, together with Alphabet, Google, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on. Why does this matter? I tell you. Correlation up to 80% to high performers, 2 times increase in value, 50% more earnings. This is what you get if you understand, have empathy for the world around you, and can imagine how it could thrive forward. World Economic Forum predicts that complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, cognitive flexibility, this is the skill sets of the future for the future of work, which is my job. Never in the human history has the present been so temporary. We need to study change. Change is our innovation brief. That change will tell us where you can be in that future. Okay, last chapter. We do have new tools to walk into that future and understand it in a very different way than we ever have done. Data is fantastic content. We produce more data than ever. We will produce more data than the whole human history have produced in the next 5 years. Can you imagine that? This is exponentially more, obviously, right? Now, this is numbers, analytics, statistics, on all these things. Content, this data, content is king, but context is King Kong. This is the biggest monkey out there. This is where things are changing. I give you a piece of data, it doesn't mean anything unless I put it in a context. And you see a totally different future in front of you, right? This is Catherine Fake. She sold Flickr, you remember Flickr, yeah? To Yahoo. She's very happy. She was in the business of context. Yes, I know. She gathered all the data, all the pictures, but she understood the social implication of collecting. It's art, it's family, it's vacation, it's social exchange. So she started a new company called Hunch. So she started to ask questions. This is my questions. Do you know what a cat wants when it meows? Yeah, I think so. How do you eat your yogurt? Fruit on top or fruit on the bottom? Do you like your job? Do you get enough sleep? Would you tell a child that it's adopted? Difficult question, right? Now, all this content, what's the meaning of answering these questions? This is so addictive, so gamified, that you cannot stop answering. Together with a mathematician, she gathered 80 million answers, because people are people, you know, we love these things. 2,000 questions, 80 million answers, all this content. What is the context? I tell you. If you like Pepsi more than Coke, you believe in UFO. This is true. Don't fight it. If you read Wired magazine, you prefer the redheads. True? Okay. If you use fake ID, you've been a teacher. Yeah, guilty. This presentation actually runs on a Mac. I'm a good dancer. Incredible. You use an iPhone, and so on and so on. Amazing insights, no? Look, this is data. Data doesn't lie. You just need to ask the right questions. Data is the paint and the algorithms of machine learning. The smart machine intelligence is the paintbrush where we can paint the future to understand it better. Data is the content. The algorithms bring out the context. Data is nothing until you make it to information and in the end knowledge and wisdom. And you can compare it how you make products. You can gather features, but they don't matter. Actually, they don't matter if you put them in a bag and call them a product either. You need to serve them. You need to build a relationship between humans. Start with designing the relationships you will have in the future with you, with your customers. The rest is easy because we're entering a very new era here. Scalable efficiency, standardized activities, repeatable results, all these things we can automate. This is not human work. We are moving where we need to take very, very complex decisions. Complex decisions require human creativity, ingenuity, collaboration. And creativity is not adjusting, margins in your little Word document. Creativity is writing a love letter, or a white paper, or a new contract. We can focus on the human stuff to share experiences, plan the future, debate ethics, and take complex decisions with the help of the machines and the algorithms we have today. The smartest app in the world is the one that makes you smarter. That's a symbiosis between the human ingenuity and machine intelligence. Let me show you an example how we think about it. Imagine this. Hey, Newt, the more you developers travel together with your designers in your team, right, the better employee satisfaction KPIs you get. There is a relation to high performance. Here's 3 conferences that you could go to. Amazing, no? How could the computer know that? This is where we headed. I found even routes so they can sit face to face and discuss. And by the way, if you switch from window to aisle seat on tomorrow's flight, you will most likely be more successful in your budget negotiations. This is what I found in the data and put it in a context for you. I'm just showing you a little demo of machine vision, which is a part of machine intelligence as the last thing. We can spot logotypes very quickly in very high energy sports. This is superhuman ability. And we can talk about the technology forever. But what does this mean? Before, people had to count the logotypes with clickers. So we changed how people work. They can now focus on a much more higher value. Actually, they don't have to do this anymore. We changed what work is. And this is the business we're in. We also changed the business model. All of a sudden, you don't write a contract on my brand exposure. You pay for what you get. And this is not even scale. This is just a beginning. Can you imagine 30 exponential steps later? Look, let's wrap up. We are fusionists. We conduct and orchestrate the future together. There's no chance that SAP will give you all the answers for the future. No chance. The future is too complex, and we need to simplify it together with the partners, with the startups, with the universities, with our customers. We need to ask these profound questions together. We understand the futures. They are beyond human understanding. They are unexpected, but imaginable. And we know how to design them. Start with the relationships you will have. Have a conversation, because you need to articulate what futures you will live in. Write them down, show them to each other, and use the new algorithms. Use what Leonardo can give you. Use your imagination to maybe become human at last, so we don't have to spend time administrative work, management work, and we can focus on being creative, imaginative, being human. Do you remember this application? Most of you do. This is called Pen and Paper. This is fantastic. It's a travel voucher, so it's a travel expense, right? Some of you have seen it. I see it on your faces. This is from Mr. Aldrin from 1969. He went on a business trip, like many of us did today, right? And he had to fill this in. He used a business vehicle. It was a spacecraft. He went to the moon. This is Buzz Aldrin's travel expense. He had to fill this in to get his $33 back. Yeah, and this is him tweeting about it. You know, I think we could spend Mr. Aldrin's ingenuity for something else. Who composed this piece? Verdi? Vivaldi? Puccini? No, artificial intelligence, I know. I'm repeating myself. I'm calling for your imagination and collaboration and articulation and discussion of the futures. Because when we come together like this and we put the futures we want to live in down, there's no stopping us. Once we imagine and articulate something, we just do it. And I think if we do it together, we actually make a future we all want to live in.